Welcome back to the finale of the marriage arc of Dice Dropping's Song of Fire and Ice role-playing game, Chronicles of House Weirlight. Yeah, we don't have much left. It's gonna be kind of a slow wrap up of some scenes, and then next time you see us, it will be the new season. But till then, let us zoom in. We're going to say this is not the same day, but we will confer some things. Tidrick, your the last place your brother was seen was going out back to the storage, like the storage sheds, which Tidrick, you've just literally never been in your entire life and actually don't even really know where they are. You can be directed there very easily. You have people all around you who know where they are. But if you go in there, if I look in the storage, call for, or of course, I mean, you're a lord. You wouldn't necessarily go there. You would have your people bring your brother or something. Yeah, they can't find him.
Oh.
Dun, dun, dun.
Which is weird to you. And Orton is like, his head is low, and he's just like, I'm very sorry, sir. I don't know where your brother is right now. And you can clearly tell Orton is like embarrassed because like he's the guy, right? Like he's the guy who knows everything. So
He has failed. No.
he
right.
clearly is like saddened that he has failed you.
My brother probably knows of some secrets of the house.
I believe you are correct in that. Thorsten has hinted to me that there is secrets of this house that I do not know of. So, but the moment he emerges, I swear to you, I will know.
Okay.
Henric, of course, is just la la la.
I feel like I'm in trouble.
Yeah, a little bit. You get out. So I'm gonna say some days pass. After a few days, Thorsten will emerge. But I know, Thorsten, you are buried in there for a time. And you're like, now I gotta postpone my trip. Like, lot of new stuff coming around. So we'll kind of go maybe what you did there in a second. But after a few days, Nymora, what are you currently doing? Say 3 days hence from the last time we saw you. What are you doing currently?
We have a blacksmith, right?
You have an incredibly talented blacksmith.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that
you bought a very expensive one.
we did. So I think I'm with the blacksmith, helping customize my new spear to replace the one that's shattered over the edge of the wall.
Okay. So what I'm going to say is you are currently so Loren is his name. You are currently arguing with him because Loren is an artist.
Okay.
That was one of those.
And he is so anal about how things are done. You clearly know what you're talking about. You know a lot about weapons and fighting and how they work and how, in fact, they're even made.
I don't need the filigree that's going to be around the haft. It's going to make
You
it
are,
not necessarily weighted.
He goes, I do not design basic spears. I am not a lineman crunching out pointed sticks for peasant infantry. I am one of the most highly regarded blacksmiths in the South.
Yes, this is why I'm asking
And therefore,
you to make me a spear.
and therefore, everything I do reflects upon me. Therefore, I am going to make a spear worthy of someone of your position, Sir Nymora. And therefore, it will have filigree. And if you dare believe that will offset the balance, that is an insult to me.
All right, fine.
He's
I
like
don't-
red faced. He's like,
Yeah.
but I mean, Loretta. He goes off on everything. Like
It's
his apprentices are just so used to it. They're
or
just like,
it's just in the background. Just
shaking their head real low because you don't know when something's gonna get thrown at them. Like,
it's all right if you want to put. If there's going to be filigree, fine. There can be filigree on the spear, but just like maybe subtle. I don't know.
I can do
There-
subtle, but
That's the thing. There's elegance in subtlety, right?
it's interesting coming from you. But yes, I would say so.
Listen, I've spoken to other women. I know what they do.
He blinks at you.
Yes, other women are subtle, and also it's beautiful.
Like-
I'm not one of them.
Like, well, the filigree are, if you couldn't notice, I'm trying to do roots for the tree. You are,
I think it takes like a solid 5 seconds. Just like
yeah,
oh,
because you are joining with like Lord and Sir Asterwood, are you not?
that is the plan.
He then just goes like, I am very excited about it though. I'm like I have not. Congratulations, actually.
Thank you.
I'm very. You've always been very loyal and good, Imora. I've seen it. I have seen it. I may be a lowly, famed, wealthy blacksmith.
All right,
Humble in nature in all things.
keep going.
But I have seen you and I recognize, and Sir Cedric is the only other person I would say is as dedicated to this family, and to see you two come together is very beautiful. He just wipes a bit of a tear away.
Do you need a handkerchief?
I would like one, yes.
I offer him a handkerchief.
Very kind.
I
Just like...
when I asked him to marry me, I did not think that so many people were going to be taking an interest in it.
Well, I mean, you've been in this house how long, Namora? Everyone talks here. The talk never leaves the compound, but we talk.
It's been almost
4 days.
nearly.
4 days.
No, how long that
Oh, how long you've worked here?
Yeah. Almost 10 years. Yeah.
But
yeah.
but eight years ish around there.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
Nearly.
I know people talk. I know. It's just that it's not. I didn't think that this was something important enough to talk about.
People care for you, for you and Cedric.
But it's not going to be a grand wedding the same way that Lord Henric had.
Of course, it's not. People like us don't get married like that. It's different, and we're just happy because weddings are happy, and to see you, it's just I think some people I just feel are put here for each other, and it just feels very fitting for you two. And I'm going to be emotional.
I gently and kind of slightly awkwardly pat him on the shoulder, just like.
He's so thick. He looks like a skinny dude, but you hit him and there's just terrifying cords of muscle in him.
This feels like tapping a steel beam.
Yeah. And nothing about him actually looks like a big brawny blacksmith, but it's yeah, that's... You notice, he does wear kind of loose clothing.
I trust that you will do your finest work, as you always do.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, you just said, make me another spear, so... It needs to be grand, because this is, it's symbolism. It's a new spear for a new part of your life. Therefore, it should not be like the old spear. And that also means that I'm going to increase the head by several centimeters.
Right.
I think, and
It-
I'm going,
I
and I'm
s-
going to give it. I think I'm going to give it. Not. I was thinking a little bit of a crossblade, but then I was thinking no, more of a thorn. I think prick. So basically, I'm going to make your spear a diamond head, and I think that'll be good.
while he's doing this,
Yeah.
I'm just like kind of like patting down, like it's like, can you hold on for just a second? I need to go and get something from my rooms.
Do you want to add something to the spear?
Well, just hold on just a second. I'm going to
My time is very expensive.
do something while I'm gone. I'm gonna go to my rooms. I'm going to bring back some of my earnings from the tournament, a mound of gold upon which I have just been sort of sitting upon like a
Sure.
dragon.
Like a dragon.
And I give him 1,000 gold dragons.
He goes, "What is this for?"
Do whatever you want with it. Make this something beautiful. Make this something worthy.
Oh, well, I mean, Daimora, and he kind of holds it. I mean, you. I've been told by Lord Tedric that when I make something for you, it's with the same funds I would make something for the family. I don't need this. I have infinite gold. But like, did you not know that Lord Tedric had decreed that? Like, he just goes,
No, I
"Oh,
didn't.
yeah, he did that years ago."
Just- my eyes are just watering. Oh my god.
They love you, Naimora. I mean, how many times have you saved their children? So many times.
Something-
You've nearly died. You've nearly died for them several times. They know. I don't need. I mean, this is Jesus, but like by the seven. I don't need this though. I have access to much more.
There's so much money that I have.
Lady
now, and I don't know
Vivian
what
has
to do
literally
with it.
told me that I have no limit when creating weapons for the family.
Don't know how much all of this money frankly frightens me.
Naimora, he kind of handles it back to
Oh,
you.
I guess just my huge pouch.
Yeah, just fucking your chest. Essentially, it would need to be like a chest. The bag would rip.
I have so much money that I don't know what to do with.
And he just like goes, Naimora, you and I, when we're born, untitled. Yes.
Yeah.
So we're not. And though Cedric was born titled, but he's lived with and worked with untitled folk his entire life, and he has honestly seen us more than he has seen them.
One of the reasons
We
I like
know that your wedding will be what you want, and it will not be a reason that they have weddings, which is legitimate and good and makes us all money. But
snort. Yeah.
it will be a personal thing, a thing for you and the people you love, and that will be beautiful. But, and though Cedric does have access to lands and yours, you could put that money into investing into both you and your new husband's lands.
Smithy is about to give me financial advice.
He is. He's very good at this. He's like,
Okay.
He's like, I actually have multiple businesses. I opened up a new business on the Street of Steel, actually.
Okay. That is familiar. I have been there. I know there's recognition in Naimora's eyes.
Yeah, he's just like, so I take the excess money that I get for being the greatest blacksmith of the South. And I do mean specifically south of King's Landing, because I don't want to talk about the other thing there, but I do invest some of my money in. I have things in Redport that I've invested in. I have a ship that I own that transports iron. And that makes it easier for the Weirlights to get what they need as well. And I get other money from there, and so I'm kind of getting money from all sources. It's smart. So what I would do is maybe invest in your lands, and I know that maybe you aren't as keen as into business, and definitely Cedric isn't either. So instead, I mean, of course, there's always the Akelands, and the Asterwoods Hall, but for Cedric and you with this money, you could build a place for you in Cedric. If you talk to Cedric and pool your coin,
Yeah.
you could build your own place.
Think of the kind of looking at it and just thinking, and she's like, my lord and lady did say that they were thinking of granting me land.
Nods. And Cedric gained land from them as well. So if you perhaps ask them when they do, because they will, merge it. And build something, well, that will maybe start a legacy. We didn't have the opportunities we have now. And we're not bad people if we take advantage of them. Okay?
I think it is still foreign of me to feeling like I want something feels wrong still, instead of being happy with what I have.
It's strange, isn't it? I know what you mean. But but you're not wrong for wanting things, and you have the opportunities to have them. Take it. All right.
You know what?
Yes.
Do whatever you want with the spear. Whatever your vision is.
Okay. For you. Like,
Thanks
for
for the advice.
anytime. And you know Nymora, Laurent, you've talked to Laurent many times before. You and Cedric have to talk to Laurent because he's in charge of all the people that mass produce weapons.
He arms us, yes.
Yeah, he does. And he is able to do Castle Forge, which essentially is it's what makes superior steel. The reason like lords and ladies have like +1 weapons, essentially. That's the kind of shit he can make. And you also know recently, because of Tidric and some shit y'all have done, he in fact also now is studying and knows how to fuck with Valyrian steel.
God. These people are lunatic. These people are obscenely rich.
Yeah. Obscene.
Y'all are fucking off the charts. Just Serena smiling.
Yeah. Laurent will actually give you a hug. So you also know Laurent is fully homosexual. He loves men. He is not shy about that. Like at all. And that's not it's like some people, obviously there's just the normal derogatory shit, but nothing in religion or law forbids that at all in Westeros. And in fact, Laurent has a husband. He lives in Redport. His husband runs like the business there. Essentially, Laurent is the artist, and his husband's more the businessman.
Yeah, I know some guys. I know a couple like that.
Yeah, he's just like, so like, of course, anytime. And Imora, as you walk away, you do see Cedric out in the field, looks like drilling the archers. Okay. Notice that like a lot of the targets they're throwing targets.
Are they mayhap bird-sized?
Maybe
a little bit.
There's looks like sacks of grain, like small sacks of like grain or birdseed or something that they're just like launching with crossbows.
Yeah, I'll go over. I'll like heft my chest of gold up onto my shoulder. No, fuck it. I'm a knight. Oh, I'm a fucking knight. Yeah. Can I just ask a servant, just like, can you bring this back to my rooms for me, please?
Of course, my lady, and just two servants like.
It's like I think it legitimately takes Nymora. Like she starts walking towards the field with this big, like this little hand chest on her shoulder, and then she just stops and just like, wait, Other
I
people can.
yeah, I'm in a
I can,
position of privilege.
I can ask someone else to do this for me.
Hmm.
But then, yeah, I'll go out to the training fields to watch them to watch the crossbow training
Excellent.
with Cedric.
Yeah. Cedric sees you.
Mm.
Um, says something to one of the men, and just walks over to you as you see his hands over thing. And he's just like, heard Laurent screaming. Spear going well.
You know, I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll be a beautiful piece of art.
It will, I'm sure. I
It's
mean, he knows what he's doing, and I'll bet it'll be balanced. I bet you anything it's going to be heavier than you used to, though.
I bet you that every time that I bring it out into the sun, it's going to flash like a lightning strike with all the gold that's on it. It's going to blind me.
That has been kind of his thing lately.
Feel
Lady,
agree.
Lady Vivian's acceptance and love of his, I think, art for these specially designed swords, I think, gave him a bigger head than he normally does.
And fool me, I told him to do whatever he wanted.
I mean, he knows who you are. He knows it'll work.
He just gave me some advice, that's all.
Really?
He said that when Lord and Lady Weirlight grant me lands, that we should merge ours and invest in it. So I still have all of the winnings from the tourney.
Wow.
2,000 gold. Yeah, 2,000 gold dragons. I just don't know what to do with it.
Wow. You have held on to that for a long time.
I don't know what to do with it. I don't need that much money. I have already bought my mother a house.
You have, yep.
Everything else that I need, the family pays for, apparently.
Well, yeah, our family is very, well,
Generous.
I think I would say
wealthy.
well off, comfortable. I think
Rich as sin.
I think comfortable is what Lady Vivian likes to say.
I think in the any text of the seven, it is rich as sin.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I would say so.
But that is what Laurent said, is that we should combine our lands, if and when I am granted it. Is that something that you would want to do?
I think I would like that very much. And he reaches forward and kind of grabs both your hands, and squeezes them and goes, I think I would very much like that. I mean, I have a lot of kind of just savings stacked up just in case. I bet if we merge them, I mean, if we get both our lands merged, I bet we could build something that would last.
Could build a home, proper home, not just a little stone tower out in the wilderness.
No, I think with my winnings and yours, I think we can build a castle.
I mean, let's not.
A small one, not like this.
No, this is absurd.
But I think we could. It would last. Weathered. There's a hilltop in my lands, and I think it would be a good place.
High up, fortified, defensible.
Mm-hmm. Ground's already kind of wet in an area. We could dig a moat.
A moat, so fancy.
Mm-hmm. Proper moat, you know. Yeah. So I will say, Nightmora, with your winnings and what Cedric has on hand, you would have enough for investment equal to about 35, which could net you a small castle.
It's, you know what? It pays to have a character who doesn't have a concept of greed.
Your net worth is worth your combined net worth is one
Our
castle.
combined net worth is one castle. This is how
Yeah,
you know.
and Tidric and Vivian would be like, oh, more castles on our lands that are under our control.
Mhm.
Sounds amazing.
Mhm.
It's yeah. We could
Mhm.
find the people to staff it. We could pull from find the people in Redport. We could find our own guards.
Yes, and I will say, for a fun fact, because I've already talked to Jesse about this, but Jesse, I believe the lands you were going to give Nymora was the lands of the ruined castle, were they not?
Yes.
Old
Yeah,
of the old hall.
yeah, like no, not of the old hall, no, not that one.
Okay,
No,
okay,
no,
God,
not
okay.
the old hall.
No, the
Oh
where
my
the
God, okay.
no
The cursed
no,
place?
no,
Yeah,
no, no,
okay,
no,
okay.
where the battle
The
happened.
battle that happened.
Oh,
Bandits.
Okay.
Yeah, the ruined keep.
Yeah.
And so because of that, it would still cost the 30, but because there's already a foundation to essentially build on, if you
Yeah,
wanted to
that's
build your
stone.
castle there, it would
And-
literally cut the time by 3/4.
Because there's already stone there to build with.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
They already got the foundation built out.
Also, there's a fuck ton of lumber sitting there as well because of the generous order from the Craycalls that Vivian got.
Thanks, Vivian.
So yeah.
Vivian texting on her iPhone in the distance.
Yeah, so yeah, he gives you hands and just goes, I think that would be, I would love to make that with you.
I would like to give it a try. And I think looking at looking at him now, probably just like like sweaty, probably had with like mud from training and just like
Yeah.
standing out here in this muddy field is the first time that Nymora like actually looks at Cedric and thinks like, we're doing this. We're making this happen, and I might be able to love him. And I think that Nymora, I think that she leans up a little bit to steal a really quick kiss.
Yeah, he kisses back a bit, and then after you do that, he smiles big, and then he'll lean down and just put his forehead on yours for a sec, and just goes, and you hear like some commotion and talk from over like where they're hoisting the thing, and then he just goes like, and he kind of stood up and goes like, I can't wait. Then he just turns, he goes, something to say, and then the guy's like, fuck, and just like an arrow goes off in a random direction. He goes, hold on, I need to teach some boys how to be men. Excuse me.
Do you want a little bit of help?
He looks at you as well as he goes, why not?
Nothing like teaching a boy to how to be a man by getting his ass handed to him by a woman.
I couldn't agree more. Hendrix, it's your ass over here! And they were just like, thing.
I beat the shit out of some rookies.
Yep. Goes off. Excellent.
Oh,
God.
so sweet.
Tearing up slightly.
All right, Henric. Henric, it is, I'm going to say, about time for luncheon.
Okay.
Where are you having your luncheon, and with whom? As you are a rich person in a giant castle.
It's the
established
same.
that already.
Yes, we have several.
Is it
We
the
apparently
same
have a terrace and a
time?
garden. None of
Well,
us
I need to
across the
continuously
hall.
remind everyone just how fucking rich and privileged they are.
We are. We
I
get
mean,
lost in this house sometimes.
Vivian gets
honestly.
it.
Vivian's the only one who does. Vivian manages.
But
all the
sometimes
finance.
I just want you guys to know, like, yeah, you guys are stupid rich. Just so who are you having your
Tidric
luncheon
threw
with?
a gold dragon at a bird.
He did.
That
He did do that.
happen.
That was
You
pretty great.
absolutely did that.
That is
Yeah,
some
Teacher
rich
gets it.
people shit.
I think, oh god, I'm so torn because like I want to have one with my wife, but I also feel like I need to talk to Mariella about some stuff. So unless Mari was planning on having her own conversation with someone else, and like I think the same stuff could be told.
You choose what you want to do. It's up to you, my friend.
Ugh,
Teacher called you. I'm not giving you your answer.
I know. I don't want to
Yeah.
expect to go first.
I'm like, you can have, if you really want to, you can have an opportunity later. But if you wanted to talk to your wife, you could do that too.
Yeah. Oh god, this is hard. No, this is. I'll say that this is important. Like after post Falcon post Hawk autopsy, and I did say I was gonna find Mariella afterwards. So
You can have done that already. This is just a different scene because there are days later. We will have established like conversations before that, perhaps even off camera. But right now, I'm just asking.
Okay, then yeah, I'll have my first lunch with my wife then.
Excellent. So I'm gonna say you just said this is your first, so that means you really haven't seen much of Ashella in the past 3 days. Why is that, Henric?
Oh shit. I think honestly, I've kind of been.
You've been what?
I think I've been like kind of busy with Thorsten and possible weird bird autopsy that I know nothing about. Also, probably talking a lot to my father and just hanging out more with him because I'm married now and kind of like obviously not in any position to take over the house, but I do want to like.
You are now seeking him out to look for responsibilities.
Yeah, I would say.
Okay. Tidrick, how receptive to that have you been?
I have been extremely receptive.
Okay. Have you given Henric any form of responsibility within the house?
Please, Papa, please.
Yes, I have.
And just like free feel to make something up, Jesse. Like whatever it is, it's legit.
Yeah.
Well,
Want to build a tower somewhere or run the vineyard?
Okay. You are in charge of the West Wing, which is the old part of the old
West Wing. Awesome. Okay.
Do not go into the West Wing.
Swing. What's in the West Wing? It's forbidden. Okay.
It's forbidden.
Okay. And you're starting small. You're starting small with the enchanted rose, and then you're gonna
exactly. The beast is there. Wow.
Okay,
There's
so
a beast there that you must slay.
Cool.
So in charge of the West Wing.
Cool.
I've given him his. Basically, I've spoken with Orton, and having Orton basically also answer to Henric, like he would answer to me.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, Orton understands.
Also, I'm gonna take a break and let him take care of the finances.
Okay. All right. So you've been learning figures.
Apparently, oh god, I'm gonna have to go. Now I am gonna. Okay, partially through my Thorsten time was just me upping my algebra and everything. It's like,
yeah,
I definitely
so
snuck out during
you've been learning where your money comes from, and so here are the numbers, and like you're just like, oh yeah, so here are like peasant taxes, and you're like, okay, and like here are land taxes, here is like port taxes, you're like, oh wow, very cool, and this is and here are like our profits from our poppy fields, and you're just like, it's like lit, like, and you're like, we have this much money, and then your father is like, this year, yes, that's what we earned.
This year,
like, yes, and then of course we have the hoard, and then Tidrick, do you show him the vault? Is this the time?
We have a vault.
Yeah, so you definitely didn't know that.
For sure I did.
The only people here in game who have seen the vault would definitely have been Vivian, Tidrick, Thorsten, and probably Nymora at one point, having escorted one of them. So Tidrick, you go to the vault. Inside is very nice. There are paintings literally inside the vault. a lovely like green floor with like this like oak like around it, this long tall like glass that kind of ceiling that has like mirrors reflected light into it from somewhere else because it's not actually outside. The ceiling is painted to look like the sky, and sitting before you is an actual literal like dragon's hoard pile of fucking gold with like chests and like all this shit, along with like the paintings you real around you might be worth something.
The
and
cave
there's like
of Aladdin, okay?
yeah, no, there's like there's like tapestries hanging. You see like 4 different strange weapons up on walls that you're like, how would someone even lift that?
My mother considers this comfortable. Okay, cool. Good to
Yeah.
know.
And
Just
in
good
fact,
standards,
there
grand
and
standards.
hilariously enough, you do see these large plush lounging chairs with tables next to them. It seems like you could just come and sit in here and just like smoke and drink and watch your money.
You can just come in here and just like fucking just look at the money.
You could Scrooge McDuck
Oh
this.
my god!
You
Yeah.
can absolutely
Yeah.
Scrooge McDuck this.
Well,
Does-
Do
Does
not be fooled though.
Does Vivian come?
Does not work like water.
Dietrich says, having tried it. Does
Yeah,
Vivian
like,
just
well,
come in here and
while
just, like,
Cedric's
sit
looking
and
away,
drink
Henrik
and just,
tries to like sink a hand into it like water, and it's like, oh,
Ow.
Sorry,
Yeah, quickly, Vivian, do you sometimes come in here and just stare at the insane amount of money and wealth you have?
I sometimes come into like catalog like the
Mhm.
jewels and stuff in here. I don't just stare at the money. I was raised with money. I know.
Mhm,
I'm not like
Mhm.
just
aw,
nice to
but-
be in its presence sometimes,
Mhm.
surrounded by it.
Yep.
Pretty aesthetic.
There, of course, also at the very top of like this pile of gold, in this like higher area, there's a chest that's like embedded into the wall. That seems like the only way you could get up there is if you had literally piles of money that high enough to reach it. Essentially,
We could climb our own money to get to more money. Of course, yeah.
Now, Teedrick, of course, that is the family chest. That holds every sacred thing your family has ever owned. You have seen into it once you were sworn into as Lord. Teedrick, I will say to you, you like, I want to protect that chest, but nothing in that chest really is like cool. Like it's just sort of important to your family.
It's in the chest.
You actually
Dad.
don't even know if anything in there is worth anything, but it's important to your family.
Hmm.
So yeah, you come in and it's a little bit like a time capsule. And yeah, you see the vault and you're just like, there it is. It's crazy.
Cool.
You then like you also notice that there's a guy in here.
A guy.
Yeah, a guy. He looks like a guard of some kind, except his outfit is like much different. He has a halberd that is clearly made of like castle forged material. And his like armor is essentially like very high grade. He looks he wears a mask on his face that is fully gilded. Like it is a gold mask. That actually is sort of shaped a little bit like the edges of the face have like petals coming off of them. Yeah, this is Teedrick, of course you know who this is. This is the Gold Guard. That's literally just what he's called. He's called the Gold Guard. You know who
call him Goldie Hawn.
You Goldie Hawn, yeah, of course. You know who he used to be when you inducted him as the Gold Guard. But yeah, there he is. He's the Gold Guard. The Gold Guard turns and bows. Yeah, but you get to see the vault.
My son is now allowed in here.
The Gold Guard like nods.
Full
and
privileges.
Then, like nods. You did notice when he came in, he bowed to you and did start pointing the halberd at Henric. Just full murdered you. Like,
Sorry, so your son followed you in. I had to stop him.
Yeah.
Sure no one saw.
Oh God.
I've already lost 5 children because of this.
There was 2
I'm
husbands
joking, I'm
before us
joking.
that died. from you.
Yeah. Your older brother fell to him, and you're like, "What?" And he's like, "I'm fucking with you."
What? Oh, okay.
I wasn't
Oh.
quick enough, and you sort of got your older brother, and
I had an older brother. Like, well,
well, you used
Not
to.
anymore, so
Had being the operative word.
Yeah.
Indeed. So you showed him the vault. You now are going to be in charge of finances for a little bit, and definitely in your Tedric, did you give your son an office?
Well, I've given him an office.
Mm-hmm.
I have the whole West Wing.
Yeah, it's in the West Wing. It's definitely Tedric's like old office before they built the new one. It's nice. It's old. It's thick. The walls are all like have like have you ever seen like the inside of like the Kremlin, like Russian palace, where it's like some walls are literally just fucking tapestried with fucking like stories and stuff. That's what it looks like in here. And yeah, and Catalina has placed several books on your desk. Like, okay, that's for you. Like,
Yeah.
just gotta sign off
Also,
on it.
there are parts on the walls for weapons and such that are
Mhm.
now empty.
Yep. You also notice under the desk, there's this large sheath that seemed to have been like built into the side. There's nothing in the sheath, but
Oh, there's a desk sheath for my
Yeah.
sword. Awesome.
yeah, your dad was really into that.
Yeah, I bet.
That was he invented that actually, the death sheath, your dad. His legacy.
Oh,
Never really caught on, but
just be a weird light thing. It'll be for us.
there we go. But so that's you've been busy with that.
Yeah.
We go back in. You're in luncheon, and
Right.
you're with your wife. Where did you choose luncheon to be, Henrik?
Yes.
Somewhere in the West Wing, perhaps?
Yes, of course somewhere in that thing. My office, yeah.
Yeah. There's a lovely back veranda that has like the view of the entire back of the castle and
Yeah.
all the lands in that direction.
Light is good there, so we'll head over, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she's just like, husband, it took me ages to get back here. But I will say this veranda is quite spacious. This is a good place for entertaining. Needs a little more love, I suppose. Why is this part of the castle not used as much?
I don't know. I think the castle is honestly so large that most of us don't even know where everything is.
Well, I mean, Henrik, you know, you were alive when they did this. They built
Happened, yeah.
on the old castle and made it much bigger. And
Yeah.
a lot of stuff got moved to the
This
new
is the
areas.
but I'm in like the old part
You're
of
in
the
the
castle, right?
original part of the castle, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, like I think because most people prefer to be in the newer section that my parents had built a few years ago.
Oh. But this place has history and character.
It
Interesting.
does. And now that I'm very glad that my father has put me in charge of it, I want to try to
Really?
spruce it up a bit, I guess. Yeah. Like you said, it has character, it has history, and I want to
As
get more part of it.
As your wife, I would very much like to help you in that.
I get so excited when she says that and like holds her hand. Like, I would love that. I would love your insight.
It would be a lovely chance to prove to your mother that I can be just as good a hostess as she could be.
Oh, I have
very-
no doubt about that.
I was like,
Oh.
They're
Well,
like, I just want to be
the
clear.
vibe isn't I want to be better than Vivian. The vibe is I want Vivian to like me.
I understood that. I did want a quick question. Like, I'm very glad that you and my mother are getting along. 'Cause she does love you so much. But I do want to just make sure because
Has made me feel incredibly welcome, Henrik.
I was a little worried that she might actively challenge you to do something though, just to see. But I'm glad she asked.
I will say no. Your mother has just been accepting.
Okay,
And
good.
it's strange, and I like it. But I do want to prove to this family that I am valuable. Do you understand?
I do, actually. That's
Good. And because of that, and I know you've just explained to me, and I'm very excited why we haven't been able to see each other, and that sounds amazing, and I can't wait for you to prove yourself more. But I am glad that we have the West Wing because I do need something to do. And I would like if the West Wing could be a project that I work actively on, I would very much like that. With your approvals, of course.
would very much like for us to work together on this.
Good. Then
How
so shall it be.
again, I apologize if I've been neglecting to see you more than I do wish to see you more often. And if you were
That-
here working on the West Wing with me, I'd see you more
Mm.
often then. I'd like that.
I would like it.
How has it been these last few days? I know you wanted to meet more of the staff and look around the house.
Yes, I have. I've talked to Lady Vivienne. I've talked to the Catalina and Orton. I've talked to your head of household, your head of maid. I've talked to your head chef. Just kind of getting to know everyone, understanding needs, wants, things like that. Just trying to get the feel here because I do want to be useful. And in the vein of that, Henrik, I very much would like to speak to you about something that I very much want. And
Yes.
you're the only one who can give it to me, all right?
Then
Yes.
I will stop at no one to make sure you have it then.
Excellent. I would like a child.
Again,
I know it's not always custom, especially in your family. To when the moment you marry, you must have children, and your mother has explained that to me. But I very much would like a child. I'm ready for one.
Immediately, right now.
Read because on top
Quick
of him,
swipe
yeah,
the
right now.
desk.
So I was hoping that perhaps
Okay.
when we of course go to rest of the day and maybe perhaps then she pulls out a paper, perhaps schedule some places
It's a
perhaps
detailed list. Shut up.
get together for luncheons and things like that in order to get pregnant. Also to just sort of explore you more, and I want to make sure that I also want to make you happy. And perhaps from what I've seen of this, perhaps I could teach you how to make me happy as well. Does that sound good?
I mean, if you want this, we should start working on this right away. I mean,
I absolutely agree. And she just kind of raises and snaps her fingers, like, if you could leave us, please.
yo, get on, get the fuck out of here. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we fade to black as she moves the food aside, grabs one sandwich, mounts you, puts the sandwich in her mouth, feeds it to you, and we go to black.
Jesus.
We're gonna get a baby real soon.
She's a
Yeah.
fucking shark, is what she
Oh,
is.
I love
I
her
love it.
so much.
All right, excellent.
You passed.
You passed.
That's exactly why I was giving it to him.
Mm-hmm. Listen, Tidrick knows what's up.
Mhm.
Yeah, Vivian, you hear that Tidrick has, of course, given, probably from Tidrick, that has given Henrik control of the West Wing, and now you also know that Ashella has begun to manage it essentially.
A lot of rooms in those West Wings
how-
are under
how do you f-
construction. So
How do you feel about that?
I think it's great that, I mean, Henrik has shown that in the short amount of time since coming back from King's Landing, how much he's willing to take on and prepare himself for the role after his father, and the fact that Ashella is right beside him in that. I'm just like, maybe being a grandmother won't be so bad. It's to sit back and relax, don't have to worry about anything. Maybe it won't be bad.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I love that question. Did Teedrick and Vivian have sex in that room? Teedrick and Vivian have had sex in most of these rooms. Yes.
Say so.
It's,
Oh,
So
Yes,
don't
a
worry.
lot of people have
Most
sex.
of the time they've had sex has actually been outside.
I know my room is the exception. It used to be Thorsten's.
It did.
Sex-free zone. so
Definitely no
far.
sex
Sex-free
happened in
zone.
that room.
Nothing's happened.
which is an
The closest
anti-sex
thing
aura.
was late night
Well.
reading. That was it.
Continuing
The
on.
occasional steamy novel.
Occasional female.
We start.
Ooh,
Yes.
ancient texts. So
Mhm.
steamy.
The librarian slowly, nothing separated the pages. It's like, oh,
Ooh.
Are you
Thorsten read
judging
his-
my profession, Tony?
Ooh.
yeah. No, judging it, no. Sexualizing it, yes.
You know what librarians get up to behind the
Yes,
shelves.
excellent. So, with that, I would like. So Thorsten, with your 40 kind of going, I'm going to give to you from way back when. You remember that 40? Do you remember the 40? I fucking remember the 40.
Unfortunately,
burned into my brain. Might be my
So-
first tattoo, honestly.
Tony unfortunately remembers the 40.
Thorsten's
We can all
knowledge
still
roll.
see it on the
Or-
It's
screen.
the 44th for Thorsten. Yeah.
Like, why do you have a
44.
why do you have a
44.
40 tattooed on your forehead? Like
It's actually a 44.
You can't understand me.
You wouldn't get it.
you would not understand.
It's actually a 44.
Oh, sorry, pardon me. Excuse me.
I get-
That's another rank up right there. Excuse me.
Oh my god.
I hate you. So because of that, you have learned that the bird's corpse might react if you fully submerge it in a large amount of seawater.
I'd like to do that.
Do you do that? Okay, cool. How big of a thing do you put the bird in?
Remember how big those old timey like wine casks were that were like 4 feet
Yeah.
across?
Oh,
get
yeah.
one
And
of those.
barrels. Yeah.
Something
Cool.
like that.
And you have it filled with seawater, yes?
Correct.
Okay. And then you put the bird in it.
Dunk the bird in.
Yes.
Okay. I'm guessing you, because of the autopsy, you've removed the arrow. Yeah.
Correct. And I also have
Have you
if I
restitched it up?
can I basically put it all back together, but I'd like to have Henric down here with me.
Okay. Yeah.
Next
Henric, yeah. You get
It's
called down
summoned
there.
late in the afternoon.
Late in the
after
afternoon.
night
Henric's
with
hair
Bella.
is just like all stuck to
Yeah,
one side.
hey,
Just like,
Hey,
hey,
Thorsten. Yeah.
what's up?
Hey.
And Thorsten, you're like, uh-huh.
I think drink
I
around
just
here. I'm
let it-
so
I-
thirsty for some reason. Oh,
You know where my wine is.
thank you. Right, you were
You
saying.
grab a vial and you're like, ah, and put that down and you grab the wine.
Ah, there we go. Almost drank someone's blood.
I'm
okay.
gonna stick with a white.
Yep.
You yeah, so Henrik, you're there, and so Thorsten, you look at Henrik and go, I'm going to stick this bird's body in this cask of seawater.
Yes.
What is your reaction, Henrik?
That's phase, and that's the bird, right? Not testing
is-
us out
it
or
is-
anything else. Okay.
It is the bird, yes.
Have an estimate of how long it would take? We're just seeing.
Do I have an estimate? No idea.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure because you wanted
Mhm.
to know a little
Yeah,
more
I
about
did
this.
think.
All right.
Yeah, think.
All right. So what do you do?
Throw the bird in.
All right, you push it in.
It's
Mhm.
begun to rot. It's only been a few days. Probably not.
I mean, it has definitely
Okay.
begun to rot, but Thorsten has lye
Preserve.
and things that preserve it and stuff.
Mhm.
So yeah, you dunk it in the seawater and you wait.
I'll give it about an hour.
Okay. So after an hour, you look down. Nothing's really changed. What would you like to do? Pull it out? What do you want to do?
More
I'd like
seawater.
to pull it out.
Okay, so you reach down and you grab it, and as you pull it out, a bird does not come out of the seawater.
But a man.
A man comes out of the
A
seawater.
naked man or a man
dead-
fully clothed?
Dead
the
man or
the
live man?
The man is fully clothed.
Dead or alive?
As you pull it out and just, I mean, would you like to make a healing diagnose test to see if they are dead?
Yes.
boy.
Okay. 13. This is a dead man. You pull him out and you flip him over and you like pump his body a bit and seawater comes out of his mouth a little bit, but like, yeah, he's dead.
The thing is he came back after drowning once,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna put. It's not the weirdest thing I'm done. I don't know why I'm struggling with. I'm gonna put him back in the fucking water. And
You
drown
put him back in the. You're gonna put him back. Do you put like a top on?
Yeah.
All right.
And I'm
All
gonna
right.
drown him.
You
I'm
now.
gonna
All
let him
right.
sit
You've
there.
got it. So you are now. So what I'm saying, you are now pickling this man because he is.
You're
He
just
is in
marinating
brine at the
him.
moment.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's not gonna
Oh,
be
yeah,
pickling.
He's curing a corpse. That's what he's doing.
Radish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just like,
I'm
there
trying,
we go.
from what Thorsten
Delicious.
was told, he's trying to recreate
You are
the
the event.
situation of how he came back after he
Listen,
had
so
drowned.
far
You
we've
are
made
brining
progress.
him
He's
like a
back to being a
turkey.
dude. He's not a bird anymore. We made good
Yeah.
progress.
It seems how you turn back when you turn into a use magic to turn into a bird for his magic. The way you turn back is you go in seawater and then are pulled out, or it reemerge from the water, and then you're different.
Yeah.
So that you now know that. So
It
you
is
got
not
buckets of
bad.
seawater. If another motherfucker turns into a bird, you're just like, ha! You just,
Just flashing like you
Just
see fucking Wicked
amazing.
Witch of the West.
he just turns back into a man and goes, what?
How'd you know my secret?
You goddamn drowned shapeshifters. You know.
I'm gonna give him another
my God.
hour or two just to marinate, and then I'm gonna pull
From
him
here
back
on,
out.
we'll always have a
Pickle.
giant cask of seawater with us.
All right, so you said like 2 hours, and then you pull him back
Yeah.
out. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
So you
I'm
open the
gonna
cap,
observe any differences, like
you pull him
from
out. Nothing.
so
He's still
dead as a
dead.
doornail.
Yeah.
Anything different from observing from
Oh my god.
when he came out from the first time? Like, did anything
Yeah,
heal?
okay.
Anything like that?
I'm gonna. Yeah. I mean, you've closed up a lot of stuff.
Imagine he's waterlogged.
Yeah, he's heavier. He's filling.
yeah.
With, you realize
It was all pruny. Yeah.
he's like filling with seawater, but you notice his skin is not like rotting as much, and like
Mhm.
the lines and sags on his skin aren't there anymore. They're just normal now.
Okay, I'm gonna put him back in. I'm gonna leave him for a day or so.
Okay,
Mari,
you're just like,
yeah, I'll say if like I think Mari did say he was under there for a
simmer for about.
while.
You want to let that simmer for about 24 hours.
Yeah. And bam!
You're
you got
gonna
a
wanna
fully
brine.
resurrected dude.
You're gonna want to brine your turkey for a full 24 hours, or else it's just not going to have that juiciness when you put it
It's
on
not a
barbecue.
turkey. It's a Seahawk.
Yeah, unless any of you have come to Mari, she is the only thing she has really shared was to Thorsten about this dude supposedly knows about the confusion with the Danets.
So,
That's it.
Henrik, I know you wanted to tell Mariella about what was happening.
Yes, I did.
So, do you do so?
Yeah, no, I go seek her out after we need to let the guy
so
marinate for a day. So yeah.
Yeah, so Mariella, you have essentially just been told everything that just happened. He's like, yeah. So we put him in. They put him. Had Thorsten put him in seawater. He came back out. He's still dead, and now Thorsten's pickling him.
He is a human though. Good news on that. Just look at Mari like real happy, like we made like actual progress. Like, isn't this great? Completely been brainwashed on Thorsten's side. Just like blood magic is normal. We're fine. Family's okay.
I'm assuming this is not happening anywhere near the kitchens where normal pickling happens.
No. Though we have gotten several pickles to know the process to see if that may help. So there are pickle jars in the laboratory as well.
If you want some.
It's not.
Wait a long time. So
It's not really how that worked for him the first time, but sure, okay.
how you saw it then? Well, what did it show you? What did work the first time?
Well, what happened was I got dragged down through the mouth of a man's face without teeth, which is moderately horrifying in and of itself.
A lot of hair, a lot of beard.
I watched this man drown over the course of about 10 minutes, sink to the bottom, and apparently be down there for a few years, and then was dragged back up in a fishing net, and when he hit the deck or the air, he started spewing forth seawater and was once again back to himself.
Verbatim. There you go.
Okay.
So what you're saying is he's got to be pickled for a few years.
I don't know. He died by the sea that time. I don't know if an arrow and the other injuries done to him would change things. And you're not there.
I know.
I mean, whatever magic allowed him to turn into a bird and come back to life the first time, I think is connected to seawater. But if it's a matter of years, I hope not. I'm going to tell Thorsten that, but I think it may just be. I'm hoping we just have to leave him there for some time. And
wouldn't that be fun if we just leave him in the barrel and then we just skip ahead 3 years and you just pull him out?
we just let him go full in a barrel.
That'd be fun.
We store him next to the snake man in the pit who's still
It'll
there.
come out like 10
Right.
years later. Thorsten will suddenly remember. Oh yeah, I forgot.
Some adventurer is gonna break into your guys' castle and be like, "What the actual fuck?"
They're gonna find
down
There's a
here we
snake man
have,
in a pit. There's a dead man who was a bird in a pickle barrel.
down here we have the Arbor Red, we have the Essos Gold, and then we have.
We have the weirdest fucking adventure.
Let's not go out. Let's not deal with that one.
We have a pikeman pickle, yes.
Oh.
We should run
Anyway.
across these Weirlights. They do weird things to their prisoners.
Yeah, man.
Do I want to know what else Thorsten is looking into? I know he has made several promises to explain what is happening with me.
Henric, Henric,
Henric,
you know that Thorsten is actively looking into the heart speech that Mariella seemingly has developed. Thorsten, I believe you would tell Henric that you were planning on going to the Isle of Faces where those answers could be found, essentially.
Correct.
So Henric, you know that, and you can tell Mariella, like, yeah, he's actively.
I'll pass that along. Like, I don't think with your abilities, the person knows completely what's going on, but he is going to try to find out. The Isle of Faces.
So has he figured out even why I have this? Because the dead man said it's blood magic, and I've done nothing to bring that on.
Right.
Now, so here's the thing. So this is the question. I don't know if Henric knows this, but I do know that Thorsten for sure knows why. It's because you put a blood magic on Henric. He died for a second, and that transferred magic to Mariella. But something about their bloodline, and specifically Mariella, changed the magic. And now it's this heart speech thing that isn't even in any of your notes, which the thing you did to Henric totally was. So you're in new territory, and you don't know why it changed, but you do know you're like, oh fuck, twins. Like, it's twins.
Yeah.
Blood magic and twins is this weird thing.
I mean,
I basically
would have simplified it to Henric of the blood magic that I did on him was altered because of you having a twin. Putting it based in
Mariella that way. Okay, yeah, I think
so. Basically, so Thorsten essentially tells you, like, I put blood magic on you to keep you alive, like, just in case, to make you resistant. It saved your life, but when it did that, it gave Mariella powers. So that's what you know, because because you are twins, and apparently blood magic is bounded through twins.
Okay.
Him, the Weirlights.
Yep.
So that is relayed to me.
That is relayed to you.
I believe, Henric would tell you that.
Yeah, you probably see, like, the process going over her face. It's like another fucking thing. Another thing. Another thing. All right. Great.
Yeah, but Henric knows if that blood magic wasn't done on you, Henric, you would be dead right now.
Yeah, it's understanding, but still, like, fucking frustration. like
Yeah, of course.
going on
It's
her
not.
face.
Yeah, I understand that
See,
Mariella isn't
Thorsten-
like
Thorsten-
isn't like I'm mad at Thorsten or I'm mad at Henrik. It's like this situation sucks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's another thing where it's like she understands. It's like number one, like she wants Henrik to be healthy, happy, all of those things. But in order to ensure that happening and the precautions that are taken, somehow that has been rebounded back on her. And this is not the first fucking time.
Not the first time. It's very true.
So it's
Yeah.
like, great, so this is just another cycle of this. This is what this
Mhm.
is. This is
Mhm.
just another cycle of this.
And apparently that's somehow connected to you because you're now aware that there was a curse on the family.
Yeah. Another thing that
and
the currently dead pickling man said.
yeah, and you remember your weird little thing talked to you and told
yeah.
you that that weird thing that you should have been the heir and la 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 la.
Yeah,
There's
I
something weird.
I think she kind of mentions like this thing on like your stag party night, like
Hmm.
that's something. It's like I doubt it has ties to this. I don't know, but something tried to convince me about like the blood of the land and things like that. And it's like it's kind of that eerie like shit of like what that kid said to you, kind of crap.
Oh, and yeah, I was like, did it sound like a child's voice?
Yeah. I also saw it.
Yeah. I don't know if it happened before or after. I thought we killed that thing.
So that was a thing. That wasn't just okay.
No, yeah, that the night of the my stag party and the whole that whole evening, Clarissa, Thorsten, and I went to the old ruins to deal with the blood curse. What Thorsten and Clarissa had told me was that if we didn't deal with it before I was married, then Ashella would die.
Okay. And you just confronted and dealt with this thing. It didn't take you places.
I mean, it did a little bit, Henrik.
Yeah, and I'll say like it did, but it was mostly I thought in the moment, and I knew it was some sort of magic and blood curse, but that it was done. It didn't speak. It didn't say anything.
Oh, mine spoke. It also was trying to be, oh yes, you are the true heir, and blah 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 blah.
No, it did a
But-
lot of that. It tried to convince all of us of things. I think to
It
try
decided
to
to
keep living.
it decided to take me back to Blood Bloom, and when it was consumed by the thing that's in there, and yet I probably won't be forgetting that for a while.
Mhm.
So that's great. So the curse was real. Blood magic
Yes.
is real.
Hmm.
Thorsten
And
is
your
now.
family powers it.
Oh God, Thorsten. Oh no. How willingly have you been assisting in all of this?
I'll honestly say, Mari, I haven't been assisting in most of it. That would imply that I know what I'm doing, and I don't.
Contributing.
Contributing would be a better term. Yeah. I was. Do you remember our 16th name day celebration?
Yeah.
Yeah. So at some point during that time, I kind of had a vision and went into shock, I guess. I don't really remember everything, but Clarissa found me and told me about the blood curse, and Thorsten did too, and mentioned that they had been trying to deal with it and end it for as long as for years, and apparently that's mostly what Clarissa's family's been doing as well. Only brought me in on it because I think of what I saw and something to do with the curse about being the heir.
All right. And then the blood
They-
magic.
Yes, they said they needed my blood. Something to do with the Weirlights, making them grow, and why a lot of them were sprouting up more often now and seeming to bring bad luck and bad omens with them. Thorsten was experimenting with my blood for a while and thought it could lead to something. And my contribution has been mostly supplying him with my blood, I guess.
That sounds so bad.
That's legit what it's been,
legit
Thorsten, okay?
what it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get called in once a week to have my blood drawn, and
And
that's
take a
kind of it.
nap, and then you leave.
David, I don't know
I get
how
my
to
cookie and my juice, and then I go back. Yeah.
You get a
David, I don't know how
sticker.
to explain this to you, but that is what has been happening.
In Thorsten mind, it's been a lot more like scientific and magical. For Henrik, it's been a weird couple of years of getting your blood run every
Alright.
time.
So from what you told me, they just did this to you? The blood magic thing without even talking to you?
They told me they were gonna on me. They told me they were going to do something that would keep me safe and potentially strong enough to deal with this curse. Whatever it was, we wasn't quite sure, and I agreed because I wanted to get rid of it. I wanted to keep our family safe and make sure we were all okay. Don't know what for sure they did to me, though. And I didn't know it was going to affect you.
I understand all of that. And I understand how much faith and trust you have in them, respectively. But I'm about to say a thing that will probably shock you and look at me a little strange for a little bit. You're going to be their lord. You can say no.
No,
Or you can demand an explanation before they do a thing. They serve the house. You will be the house and the head of the house. I understand that, yes, Thorsten is our father's brother, but he gave up the name to go become a maester and to serve whatever house he was assigned. And yes, we were lucky enough to get him back, which is rare. But his family is not technically us anymore. It's his maester brothers. Clarissa has her own family and her own goals. But they serve the house. You have every right to demand more knowledge.
I do. And I think even then I did. And I trust Clarissa and Thorsten with my life, and knew they were right about that, and believed Clarissa when she just came to me and told me blood magic was real and she needed help. I probably should have asked for more, but I would not have, even if it terrified me, and honestly, I wouldn't have understood most of what they were saying, I still would have done it.
Oh, I don't doubt that. You aim to protect the house and do what's good and right and uphold many of the knightly virtues that you
It's
You are
that,
proud.
Mari, our parents' mother didn't even know about this. And I was afraid to ask them. I don't know if this is the ploy from Clarissa. God, it might have been actually now. But what she had mentioned and explained the curse to me was that the more people knew about it, and the more even I knew about it, that it would be potentially more dangerous. So I thought to ask a lot of things. I don't know if that was true. I don't know if it was just
It's
her way of
happened.
keeping things secret and
It's
not
already
in the
happened.
public eye. Yeah,
So
happened and it's done. Well, not
Exactly.
done. You still have what you've said to me. It's not at all done, and that makes me extremely nervous.
well, if anything, you can reflect on this and how you would want to do different. If God, I pray this does not come up again, but if it ever does, or if there's any situation where you feel you deserve more answers, you can demand them.
Oh.
Plus, I'm fairly sure Ashella would find that very attractive. So that might be also in your
He
best
does
interest.
like it when I take command of things, actually, and seem to be in charge. Notice.
Her? No. Who would think?
Yeah. Yeah.
Married your mom. Anyway.
Cut it off.
All right.
Demand
excellent.
your
Well,
rights.
I do love that scene of Henric talking about the reasons and Mariella just genuinely being concerned for her brother and wants to make sure he's safe and happy too. I love it. So beautiful.
Is she still pissed about like, fuck this shit?
Yeah.
Sure, but it's like
Sure, but you love your brother.
it's like
that.
love you.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
happened. I can't keep getting mad about this. It's just it's a continuous cycle. Just next time.
You know it's not Henric's fault.
No,
it's just the situation of your guys' existence.
It's all circumstantial because of everything that's going on.
It sucks.
Yeah,
We were born together, we're cursed together. That's how it
pretty
goes.
damn close. And obviously, we're not done.
Yep. There's still lingering remains. Now, Vivienne,
Yeah.
you go to the butterfly parlor. The parlor that no one goes to, save for Vivienne.
One other.
And Vivienne sat there with you. Is your cabal?
Wonderful.
You have sitting all in equal parts around you. You have, of course, Lady Tullison, mother of like hot young mother of Dunstan. You, of course, representing the Riverlands, representing the Crown Lands. You, of course, have Sylvie. Lovely Sylvie Manning now, of course. Not Hart. Sylvie Manning. And, of course, representing the Westlands, Delilah. And, of course, she did make it here, but, of course, her husband couldn't. Representing the Mountains of the Moon, Cassandra.
Yep.
Cassandra Rold. Yep, so you have these 4 powerful, beautiful women in your butterfly parlor. Sat, I imagine that you are actually sat on like a couch, but you're in the dead center, and no one sat alongside you. It's all just thing. It's very large and
Power moves, yes.
Absolute power moves. And you, of course, Lady Vivienne, representing the Reach, which in your mind is like the most important.
Listen.
Where all the money and food comes from.
Yeah,
Just those
so-
things.
Just 2 things everybody wants and needs.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
So you have your cabal,
Mhm,
and you have the deals you've made.
mhm.
What do you tell them? What are the things you wish to happen?
Let's see here. I, as Serena, am not aware of, medieval politics and trade.
Oh, sure. No, I don't expect you to be a master. You don't
Yeah.
need to tell me how to do a thing. You can just
Mhm.
tell me what you want done, like what
Mm.
you want to happen.
Okay.
Anything along those lines, then of course we can also just discuss it. But because I know you had plans and stuff, you've got all of these trade agreements within the
Yeah.
Reach.
So I definitely would like to see if there's anyone in, because I believe the Tullisons are along the coastline as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then with the trade agreements that I have, I would definitely like to see if we can get, because eventually I'm gonna work back with the red wines. Now that Tedric's established a trade with them, I would like to also be able to have more connection seafaring, because we'll
Okay.
be in the
Mhm.
high towers and not the high towers, the red wines.
The red ones.
Um,
Delilah asks at that notion.
mhm.
He goes, "Are you planning on marrying Garrick to Desmira?"
That is a consideration.
Mm-hmm.
But at least that's what I have on the table. But
I
he
see.
does have the option of being picky, as Desmir is his bride.
Well, Desmira is an adventurous girl who likes adventurous men, and from what I've heard, Garrick is quite the climber. Yes, and she looks
Mhm.
over at Lady Tullison, who is more familiar with your family. And she goes, "Oh yes, so Garrick is quite a climber.
Mhm.
Is that not right, Lady Vivian?"
It is.
I don't see a problem there. See, I do agree with you that the red wines need to be secured in this. And you do handle the Reach. So if you wish Garrick to marry, I'm sure that you can set that up. If not, I could always get the red wines. And she smiles at you.
I'm sure.
But I don't want to
you
step on your toes.
No,
Vivian.
Delilah, I'm sure that you are quite capable, but you are limited in the fact that the Reach tend to stay. I wouldn't want to play too much of your head, things that you're going.
I was like, well, of course, if you have a plan, that then I do not wish to step over it. Good to know. So you say you will secure marriage there?
I will.
Excellent. Oh yes, no, everyone's got their fans out.
Hanging out the fans, pretend to be ladies of the court. Go on, go on.
Fanning furiously.
Indeed.
They all took it up because they saw that Vivian had a fan.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely started a fashion. Yeah, so that's just what Delilah pucks him in, but she but you continue. I know you wanted to secure that.
Absolutely. I also No, I'm sorry. I don't think there's anything that any of us could do with the North. They are particular about it. They are, I think, in their.
The
or
North
if I could,
is
I'd ask.
the North is rather hard to penetrate, I would say. Lady Tollison, the Riverlands have good relations with the North. What would you say? And Lady Tollison is like, well, that is true. There are several Northmen within the Riverlands, and many of our Riverland girls have gone to the north. They seem to be comfortable with us. I could try. Dunstan, I mean, he does need a wife desperately. Yeah, like I don't believe would be able to secure the stocks.
There is a Forester girl currently in Highgarden.
They all like perk up, but Delilah's like, yes, Mina. Yes. What are you thinking about that?
Well, Mariella is in front of everyone, seen to be truly in love with Garland. And I'm definitely like noting at Delilah, because I know Delilah's whole thing with wanting to helping me was so that one of our kids could marry. So I'm letting her know I got goods to bring to the table. So
yeah. Oh, she notices that, but you do notice there's something like about when you say that on Delilah's face. If you want to make a awareness empathy check.
My empathy's not great, and I know this incredible, terrifying spider lady has really bluffing, but I'll attempt it. Here we go. 16.
Hey.
16.
That's pretty dope.
The TN was 15.
Nice.
You do it. So you note that when you say, "Oh, she's in love and she'll get it," you note that Delilah's like, "Oh, will she?" And it's like Delilah seems to doubt Mariella's ability to secure. And she saw she saw the whole display, but and Delilah knows that actually means nothing if Olenna says no.
Right.
Because Olenna doesn't care about Fallout because because they're the Tyrells, and the Tyrells will never be on the wrong side of anything. So Delilah's like, well, if you do believe Mariella is able to secure it, I cannot wait for that kind of reach that we'll have.
I have faith in
and I will say with the 16, you do note, you can tell that because of that belief, you know this woman at this point. She's definitely made some kind of like backup in case you fail.
Yeah.
And that makes you even more like probably either like, oh, I could show I'm helping with that by sending Scarlet to Highgarden, or maybe now you're like, I really don't want Scarlet at Highgarden.
I'm really not. I'm not gonna do not at all. It's like I have faith in what I have taught the skills to survive sport, and more importantly, I believe in her ability in being able to get what she wants.
Good. Excellent. So, are we thinking maybe what to do with Mina?
We could perhaps provide introduction to Dunstan, and
she looks over and goes, Mina to Dunstan, that's a way into the north. And because Cassandra goes, and the Foresters provide ironbark shields, toughest shields around, really. And that would be good. Also connections with the lumber trades, with the crate halls, and we could provide a way through the fork, seeing as we have passage and ships through there. You have ships. Cassandra's like, you have ships through there, and Sylvie goes, oh yes, quite. Mina Dunstan, she is quite lovely. I've spoken with her, and she's very sweet. And then Lady goes, but like, is she good enough for Dunstan? Do you think though? And this is a thing that all the ladies in the thing roll their eyes. You know that Lady Tullison is just the most overprotective mom to Dunstan, because Dunstan's dad died when he was like 2, right? So it's just been them for a long time, and his dad didn't die from like disease or an accident. He was murdered. So she has been a little on edge. She's like, is she good enough? I mean, she's very pretty, sure, but we can get pretty girls like anywhere. Like, is the Foresters, are they high enough they good enough? I mean, do they have a hall with its own name, or is it just named after themselves? And Cassandra goes, I think they have Ironwrath, do they not?
Would that be a breeding test or anything? Or
Yeah,
can I-
absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is 21.
21. You absolutely know. It is the House Forester.
Mhm.
They are vassals of House Glover, which rule Deepwood Mott, arguably one of the most important like places within the North. There's like 3 places that are really important. That's one of them. And then the Glovers serve the Starks directly. So they're technically an offshoot house. However, they are fairly influential within the North, especially their region of the North.
Mhm.
You know that there's some kind of like weird grudge they have with the White Hills, another minor house.
Mhm.
But you don't really know much about the White Hills. You're just like, whatever, North people. But yeah, no, the Foresters have definitely some power and land, and stuff. It's essentially, it's like I think it's like just north of the Wolfwood. If we actually look on look at I don't think our map goes to the north, or does it? Does it? It does. Look at our big, beautiful map.
Don't doubt my map.
Yeah, so
There's
if you look up above Winterfell, you see Deepwood Mott right here. So Ironwrath would be about here.
just in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, there's actually several houses that are there, and they kind of control a lot of this of these areas around here. They're just kind of north of a lot of the Wolfswood, and there's a lot of houses that kind of come up in these crags and stuff. They fight a lot of they end up fighting a lot of what's called wildlings and stuff to try to get through the wood. But yeah, they harvest the wolf's wood, which is eternal and powerful and scary, and they control this weird set of trees that's called ironwood, that apparently only their family knows the technique for harvesting the wood, because normal axes blunt on ironwood trees.
Okay.
They apparently have some secret knowledge on how to do it, which you're just like, that sounds like a monopoly to me.
Yup.
So yeah, they have a lot going for them.
Mhm.
I will say, often you've heard like people speak of the Foresters and goes, oh yes, their lands, what a lovely pile of timber. Of just like, not many people think much of them, but the one problem that you foresee about House Forester is basically their lord. He's a good man. He's a good lord, good family man. His family love him. His people love him. But he is, let's say, he believes that lying is amount to treason. He is a man of pure honor and it's not that he doesn't have guile, it's just he refuses it. He's a man of like intense fucking honor. But very kind and good to his family. Well, so Tedric, you have guile in you. You've done stuff. Like, you are definitely a man of intense honor for sure. Tedric would get along with him, like probably very well. Probably what's his name? Hold on. Let's see here. Oh my god. No. Come on, Lord of Ironwrath. Okay. Gregor. He is commonly also known as Gregor the Good. Is another. He is son of Thorin the Bold, Forester, who Thorin died at the Battle of the Trident. Where what's his name? where Prince Rhaegar died at that battle. His father died at that battle, Thorin the Bold, and he is known as Gregor the Good. He is widely known, and I will say Ironrath is said to be the most striking keep in all of the North. Even Ned Stark stated that he was envious of Ironrath.
Oh.
It's just no one can see it because it's the middle of the fucking woods.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go there, it's like, oh fuck.
Mm-hmm.
It is said to be the most. Now, to you, Vivian, living in the Reach for many of your life, the best keep in the North is sort of like saying the prettiest pig at the fair.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
They're all pretty. Pigs are
Of
all
course,
cute.
yes, they are, but they're pigs. is sort of so. I'm just thinking of in way the Vivian
Understood.
things of just like, okay, it said it's to be the most striking keep in the North. They say when you burn ironwood, it burns blue.
Ooh.
Ooh.
And they say only the foresters actually know how to set it alight.
So yeah, I'll just regale the more positive and interesting things that would be like beneficial to like interact.
Okay, make a persuasion charm test with
Of
this information
course.
that you have to convince this overtly doting mother.
Now, is she of noble status 4 or higher?
Yeah.
Okay.
She is exactly 4.
And then it will be +2 at the end of it for charisma.
Mm-hmm. And then everyone else kind of chimes in, and then you like, well, I mean, they say they have the most striking keep, and she is their first daughter, so it is quite an honor and truly a union. And she's just like, oh, very well, yes, Dunstan and Mina, I will. Vivian, will you help me arrange, seeing she's friends with your daughter? Could you help me arrange a meeting where perhaps she could come to Dunstan and have, tea and walk and see the keep? I mean, our keep, as many are jealous of our keep as well. And Vivian, yeah, you definitely know that. That was the contention of your very first thing. Is a lot of people wanted her keep. A lot of people said that the Tolsons didn't deserve it.
Of course, I will see to it that we can start making this arrangement.
Good. Good. We'll be in contact then. So Sylvie perks up at this point. Okay, just about time. Sylvie perks up at this point. And she says, so, I've been looking into some things, Etna and I, around the Crown lands and talk and information. It seems, she looks like kind of back and forth, it seems the Queen is pregnant again.
Oh.
Yes, everyone's saying it might be a boy. So that's exciting. I have looked about, and I heard that there will be a Crown Lands wedding soon, apparently. She's looked at you, Vivian, with one of the honorable captains of I believe the God's Gate.
Oh yes, wonderful. I will say, Sylvie, if you're ever in need of anything, his friends call him
Topper. Interesting.
If you let him know you're one of my acquaintances, he's more to.
Yes, Captain will become a lord soon. From what I hear about it, like, well done. Good to know that we can use him. Cassandra and I have been conferring on some things, and I think we should be expanding quite soon, especially if we get Mina, and we could find someone proper in the North. Mina doesn't, I don't feel guile in her, at least not yet. And then if we do, even if we don't, we still have what's important. And Sylvia's like, I could say that I've heard that you've had a lot of connections with the Dornish recently, your family, Vivian.
Yeah.
Perhaps if we could recruit someone proper from Dorne, that could solve a lot of shipping problems as well.
I am willing for the challenge. The Dornish are particular about Reachman, but
I think, oh please, Vivian, you have a way of. I think you could make anyone like you. This is Delilah saying this. And you know she's being genuine, but it's also like a brag for her, sort of. Like that's right, you got me to like you, which is like a big deal because I'm really important. Like it's essentially what she's saying.
It's like, oh, I have no doubt on my own skills. I just know that the Dornish have their own agenda. But
Well, speaking of a Dornish agenda, I believe don't you have an heir to a lost house under your care recently?
yes, we do.
Are you planning to utilize that?
Yes, of course we are.
Okay, if you weren't, I would love you if you passed him to me. But if you are going to do something, very well. Of course, I'm happy to see it.
And
You know, Vivian, that was once again just Delilah being like, "Listen, if you're not going to do anything, I'm going to."
She's got plans on plans. No, we have many keys into the Dorn, into Dorn and proper houses there through many. So
I can't wait to see what comes of it. Like, yep, and you all sip your wine or tea or whatever. Fan your fans and plot more about how to take over the world. Or at least stabilize trade to make your families the richest families in the world. Yep.
Beautiful.
Yep. And Delilah, is still waiting on that confirmation because you personally, Vivian, have some kind of familial tie to every other one of these women.
Yeah.
Because your son is being trained by Cassandra's husband. You are literally Sylvie's aunt-in-law. And your Banner House are the cousins of the Tullisons.
Yeah. So I just need a list of Delilah's kids because I can.
Well, there's none of them are married currently.
Yeah.
Of course, you've got Layden. You've got Scarlet. You've got Peter. Like, and then you've got Layla, which is their youngest.
Okay, how old is she?
Layla would be probably around Tissaya's age.
Okay. So she would be older, but we've just had Eric. Like, but my thing is, I don't know if Delilah is that patient of a woman. It comes to
you could try it, but you also know, Delilah is a schemer.
Yeah.
It's
The only thing is I don't know. Well, is there any kind of role that I could make that I would know of if I could guarantee the red wines not without a marriage, or is it?
I'm going to say with Vivian's skill and connections, you absolutely could secure the red wines without a marriage.
Okay.
You definitely could do that.
Okay. Then I think that I think I might propose then, because if they're young, because all of our daughters are too young for their sons, and they don't, and so yeah, I think I'll try to propose Layla and Garrick when they maybe appropriate. Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. All right, cool. Good to know. And with that, I believe we will end with Tedric sitting in his desk proper, and many days later, walking in is Thorsten. Hands pruned and brined.
Smelling of pickles and death.
Wanted to see me, my lord.
Yes, we need to have a talk.
Of course, my lord. What about?
Mention.
As Tedric lifts his head, makes eye contact. Blood magic.
Okay.
All right. I think on that note, we will end the season.
Good button.
Mm-hmm. Bum 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 bum. It's late. It's very late for us, everyone. We're very loopy right now.
Listen, it's not copyright protected if everyone sings it off key at the same time.
If it's also like layered and disjointed.
We got this. Exactly.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for joining us for this arc. So much has happened. Alliances have been made. The family is somehow even more on top than they were. Now they have a man pickled in their basement alongside a snakeman. Finally, one of the kids is married. Woo!
Yes!
The next arc we will all be at Highgarden. Many of the players here will be playing new characters.
No.
The story of the family isn't done, but we will be focusing for at least a few sessions on Mariella and Nymora. Nymora seeking to gain some glory and recognition as a knight, to try and create a sort of knight legacy within her own new family she's trying to gain. And Mariella trying to secure the marriage of the man that she has absolutely fallen in love with. Once trying to gain power to make her mother happy, she has instead, through that pursuit, found her own happiness. But a very large, thorny, briared wall stands between her. It does not matter. Even though the Lord accepted it, the only thing that matters is the acceptance of Olenna Tyrell. And if she says no, then it is a no. So come join us next season to see what happens. Will Mariella get married? Will Nymora gain glory? And who will everyone be playing? It'll be super fun. But until then, thank you so much for joining us on this journey of these characters who have changed so much since the start. And we'll see what new adventures lie in store. Until then, bye.